Move on. In your comments, you talked about stability versus affordability. Now, Finance Canada, from my understanding, has always tried in this policy sphere of housing to have both stability, affordability, but also competition. So did you understand, and I'm asking the officials if you can't answer, did you understand when you're upsetting the competitive balance in the mortgage marketplace by removing portfolio insurance?
I would not put it in those terms, sir. I would say we understood that there would be some structural adjustments necessary in the marketplace as a result of the reduced availability of portfolio insurance to those firms that are dependent upon it to finance their business.
Okay, so in other words, you knew that there would be a response to the changing of the rules, correct?
We knew that there will be some adjustment in the marketplace over time.
Okay, and that includes consolidation of some of the monoline lenders, but it also suggests that there would also be closures of some smaller competitors that just couldn't operate under the new set of rules. Is that correct?
So if I may, I'll explain that what we've done at the margin here are changes that have been made very much at the margin in terms of the access to the government's support for housing. But in this respect, what we have done is change the rules for portfolio insurance, which was used by these lenders to access funding. And we have made those rules align with the terms and conditions that you must enter into when you buy transactional insurance for high-ratio houses.
And you said earlier structural changes. Then you anticipated that this would cause the marketplace, in terms of perfect competition. We talk about many firms competing for different customers. In this case, there are going to be less firms competing in that sphere, and there's going to be larger firms. Is that correct?
What we did was reduce the access to the support by the taxpayer for those firms that were reliant upon it.
Okay. Did you understand that you were going to increase borrowing costs for Canadians with these changes, and did you intend to do so? And do you understand the mechanics behind these rate increases?
We anticipated that there would be some transitional issues associated with the adoption of these rules, and that the marketplace would adjust over time. We would not predict an increase in mortgage rates, but we would say that it would be, in the circumstances, possible that they would rise slightly.
What evidence of risk was present to eliminate portfolio insurance on refinance and rentals when there's a delinquency factor of 0.24% in the current portfolio, CHMC?
Again, looking at this from the broader perspective, it was a public policy decision to...
Very specific question, sir.
Yes, I'll get to your question if you don't mind. Sorry?
Go ahead, Mr. Stewart.
Thank you. So we were looking at this from the point of view of what is the right amount of support to provide by the taxpayer to the marketplace. And in this case, we were aligning the same profile of risk for the high and the low ratio mortgages.
Evidence of risk?
Overall levels of non-performance in mortgages are low across Canada generally.
So what evidence of risk was present?
The risk here is that you have a situation where in marketplaces and in markets where they're fueled by low interest rates, you have a growth in the market and a provision of credit backed by the taxpayer, which leads people into situations of undue risk and ultimately threatens the stability of the lender themselves.
So what evidence was there to suggest that high ratio restrictions were needed to be applied to low ratio mortgages?
I would not put it that way. I would say what we were doing was making the rules and the access for low ratio to portfolio insurance the same as for high ratio.
Okay.
Mr. Boulder.